What sort of quarterback are Colts fans going to get in Carson Wentz?
I think, you know what, I really think people are going to be surprised. I do. But it's just become such a polarizing conversation. You know, like you either got to love Carson or hate him. Like, and he's just become the morning TV topic. He was there for like a solid 3-4 months. I saw people with veins bulging in their necks that I just didn't even know were there. Like they were so upset about the Carson thing. I was like, of all the topics, this guy did he like kick a puppy in front of you or something? Like the guy was in a terrible situation and they picked Jalen, and that's fine. That's the business. And, you know, he wanted out. So I think he's going to be in a market that better suits him from like a microscope, standpoint. Like the market's just a little bit different. He's not like maybe a guy who naturally would love like a big city with all that media scrutiny. And he's also going to be on a team where, although they do actually have to shore up their offensive line more than you think, he's just going to be in a more cohesive situation. And Frank Reich, who he's had obviously a well-covered history with, is going to help a lot. So I think you're going to get a middle-of-the-road quarterback, which is very good in the NFL at worst. I think that if you get anywhere near your 2017, he's going to be in the top 10. And that's probably an upgrade, even though Phillip played really well, if he's a top 10 quarterback.
Well, and just to finish up the subject matter, the thing I just don't understand is, and the things I hear all the time from Michael Irvin on my set, and when Sapp was on the set and Falk was on the set for NFL Network, is that quarterbacks, you know, when they get the competition, they don't like it, and they act in a way that not a single other person on a field, defensive player, other offensive player, is allowed to act when somebody else is drafted to give them competition or back them up. And so I don't understand why the drafting of Hurts would send him in such a direction.
I also think that's really easy for Hall of Famers to say.
Okay. So,
because they're so secure in who they are. Like, dudes in every locker room watch the draft, and dudes are sour when you draft somebody at a position where you're going to share time with them. I've been pissed off that they drafted somebody, you know, like at my position. And I wasn't the franchise quarterback. The thing about quarterback is, if you're out, you're out. Like, they don't rotate you. So, like, you know, it's funny. I just feel like a lot of times it's like, do we like the guy personally?
No.
Then we give him latitude. I'm not talking about you, Rich. I'm talking about, like, just anybody breaking down a player. Well, we like player mobility. We want players to be on the move and express their displeasure. But if it's a guy we don't think has a case, then just shut up. And that sort of thing, like me with Carson is, listen, has Carson been perfect there? No. You know, I've said this before, like Nick Foles is a rare leader. Carson could learn something from him about that, but that's not to say he's not a good leader. You know, but everything's been A or B. It's been Carson or Nick, Carson or Jalen. And you can't have A-B conversations and not expect the quarterback to say, well, if this is an A-B conversation, I don't want to do the joke, but I'm out of here.
No, I hear you. It's just Doug Peterson at times was sticking with A way longer than what I thought, you know, any other coach would. He even said at one point, he went to the microphone and said at one point, if I go to Jalen Hurts, I'm telling the team the season's over. And Jalen, when he finally turned to him, damn near saved it. You know?
Well, Jalen breathed in new life, but you also don't know if he went to Jalen mid-season, you know, because the production tailed off a little bit. You just don't know how 8 games of that would have been. And so I think if for anything, they should have done it earlier so that they had a bigger picture into what they have this year. You know, and I think, as much as I support Carson, I've said this a million times before, that benching was warranted. I mean, he played himself into that. But they also assisted him into playing like that a little bit as well. Okay. I mean, that was it had been a rough couple-year stretch there. And, you know, fresh start for him. I'm sure fans are not as, and I don't blame them because they buy tickets and that sort of thing and they want performance. I'm sure fans are not as patient as a player that's played with, you know, guys, but I just, you know, I'm rooting for him. So, you know, I think he's a good dude. I think it just became such a character assassination conversation. And anytime somebody asks me about it, I'll just repeat the same thing. You know, he's not a bad guy. He could work on some things leadership and locker room wise, reaching out to every corner of the locker room. You know, I had Malcolm Jenkins on my pod. He said the same thing. Great guy. could be more social. He'll work on those things in Indy. He's got to work on the football, though. That's the thing, Rich. If he's doing what he did in 2017, how much did you hear about his leadership?
So I just want to let everyone understand. I invited Chris Long on the show. I solicited his thoughts on the Philadelphia Eagles on the show. I want everyone to understand how this all just went down.
They're just going to clickbait me, and I really don't care.
By the way, now hold on a second. Are you
Chris,
saying I invited you on for clickbait, or am I just taking?
No, not you.
Okay,
but this is going to be turned into clickbait.
Well,
you wanted to talk about the Niners too?
Sure. If you got a second,
Chris.
If you got Kyle going to the Chiefs, you want to hit me on that one? We could do that.
I'm pretty excited about that. That seems like watching him play on Sundays in Chicago, it could be tough. It's going to be a lot easier on the eyes in Kansas City, and it's just like it's tough. I've been on teams that were struggling or 500 or below. He's not going to have that problem anymore.
Hey, you watched all the way to the end. Thanks for that. Watch more right here.